The recent military escalations between Israel and Iran are significant and troubling developments in Middle Eastern geopolitics. After Israel attacked one of Iran's consulates, Iran retaliated with missiles and drones targeting Israeli territories. In response, Israel has vowed to carry out deeper strikes within Iran. This situation, fraught with potential for further conflict, can also be viewed through a biblical lens, particularly in relation to the prophetic narratives concerning the end times. The Bible contains several prophecies regarding wars and conflicts involving Israel, which some interpret as related to the end times. Among the key scriptures are passages from Ezekiel, Daniel, and Revelation, which discuss the rise of conflicts in the region of the Middle East. Ezekiel 38:39 talks about the war of Gog and Magog, where a coalition of nations will rise against Israel in the latter days. While the exact nations are not named in contemporary terms, many scholars and theologians suggest that modern-day Iran could be part of this coalition, given its geographical and political alignment with regions described in the prophecy. Daniel 9:27 mentions a peace treaty that will mark the final week of Daniel's prophecy, leading to great tribulation. The current tensions and subsequent conflicts could be seen as part of the destabilizing events that lead up to this treaty. Revelation chapters 16 and 20 discuss the battles and divine interventions expected in the last days, including the gathering of armies at Armageddon in the region north of Israel, which might include forces from Iran. Israel and Iran have been in a state of high tension for decades, primarily due to Iran's support of anti-Israel groups in the Middle East and its nuclear ambitions. The relationship deteriorated significantly after the Islamic Revolution in 1979, which transformed Iran into a theocratic state with a strong stance against Western influence and a particular enmity toward Israel. Recent events, such as the ones described, are not isolated but part of a long-standing proxy war playing out in various arenas such as Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. Israel's vow to strike at the heart of Iran reflects a potential escalation that could involve multiple regional players and lead to widespread conflict. For many believers and theologians, these events stir discussions about the prophetic significance of Israel in the end times. Many evangelical Christian groups view Israel's modern geopolitical struggles as the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, interpreting these conflicts as clear indicators that the world is moving towards the scenario depicted in biblical eschatology. The international community's response to these developments is typically mixed, with global powers like the United States, Russia, and European countries playing significant roles in either de-escalating or compounding the tensions through their foreign policies. The United Nations and various peacekeeping entities often find themselves in challenging positions trying to mediate or respond to these crises. From a Christian perspective, the call during such times is often to pray for peace and for the protection of innocent lives, regardless of political and national affiliations. The ethical dilemmas posed by such conflicts encourage a reflection on justice, the moral responsibilities of nations, and the role of Christians in advocating for peace and reconciliation. For those who interpret these events through a biblical lens, the recent escalation is a reminder to watch and prepare, as advised in Matthew 24:42-44. Where Jesus tells his followers to stay alert because they do not know on what day their Lord will come. This preparation is not just physical or political, but spiritual, emphasizing a life lived in righteousness and anticipation of Christ's return. While the link between current events and biblical prophecy can be subject to various interpretations, the unfolding situation in the Middle East certainly holds significant interest for scholars, theologians, and believers watching the region closely. Whether or not these events are directly related to the prophecies of the end times, they undeniably contribute to a broader narrative of a region that has been central to biblical history and prophecy.